In ancient times, Indian warriors developed a fighting technique called Kalaripayat. It has influenced martial arts all over the world. The tiny state of Kérala is the Garden of India. This tropical paradise borders the Arabian Sea at the southwestern tip of the country. Its capital is Trivandrum, a bustling city where bicycles and rickshaws share the road with sacred cows and elephants. And the odors of cardamom and ginger mingle in the air. Today, like every day, a 7-year-old boy named Yodish, surrounded by his 2 best friends, travels through town to a Kalari. A Kalari is a gym and a place of worship. They are found only in this region, and nearly every village in Kérala has one. Most Kalaris are all the same size. They're well ventilated and don't let in much light, so the students aren't bothered by the oppressive heat outside. This is where Yodish goes to study Kalaripayat, probably the world's oldest martial art. His teacher is a gurukkal, or wise man, named Govindankuti Naïrs. He inherited the Kalari and his position as Kalaripayat master from his father. In the corner of the room, a shrine is set up to worship Hindu gods before and after practice. In Kalaripayat, body and spirit have to be in total harmony. It is a martial art said to have been created by the gods. The students warm up in positions copied from animals preparing for attack or defense: lions, elephants, wild boars, and cobras. The gurukkal is considered a direct representative of the gods. His students treat him with total reverence. Today there are about 500 gurukkals teaching Kalaripayat in the state of Kérala. Before starting practice, Yodish and the others coat their bodies in coconut oil, which penetrates the skin and prevents them from pulling a muscle. They perform a series of exercises to enhance flexibility, bounce, balance, and energy flow. A Kalaripayat fighter should move as fluidly as water. In the old days, a warrior could tie a knife to his leg and swing it to cut off an enemy's head. The students wear a loincloth called a kacha. Its simplicity allows them to move with complete freedom. Yodish is studying a martial art which can be traced back to before Christ. The style and techniques have not changed in 800 years. Kalaripayat was at its glory in the 15th century when feudal lords who ran the region were constantly quarreling over land. To avoid unnecessary bloodshed, they fought their battles using 2 warriors rather than entire armies. The warriors were experts in Kalaripayat and fought to the death since they felt it was a disgrace to go on living after a defeat. The warriors came from a caste called Naïrs. They lived in a matriarchal society. A Naïr woman could take as many husbands as she pleased. And the more she had, the more highly she was respected. Her children would grow up to be warriors as well. A Naïr warrior was never sure which children were his, and therefore family loyalty didn't stand in the way of duty to the king. These days, one doesn't have to be from the Naïr caste to study Kalaripayat. But the Naïr strict code of honor is still practiced, with an emphasis on respect and spirituality. Boys and girls can start studying as early as the age of 7. When 2 students fight, they aren't competing to win. They're demonstrating their skills in an intricate series of movements. The principal goal of Kalaripayat is personal knowledge, mastery of oneself. Even though Kalaripayat influenced better-known martial arts, such as karate and Chinese boxing, it's not practiced outside this small region in southern India. When the Europeans invaded India, the Naïrs managed to defeat the foreigners in several clashes. Nair warriors went to battle practically naked without the protection of armor or helmets. But ultimately, their weapons were no match for the enemy's guns. In the 17th century, the British who colonized India declared Kalaripayat illegal. It was prohibited until India won its independence in 1947. Over the centuries, it was practiced in secret, but it suffered from the ban and nearly died out. Only now is Kalaripayat experiencing a newfound importance, stirring the imagination of young boys like Yodish. In a battle of short sticks or cheruvati, fighters might exchange up to 200 blows a minute. A palace in the city is the home of Princess Asvati Tirunal Guri Lakshmi Bai, a descendant of the region's last royal family. Centuries before she was born, her ancestors used Nair warriors for defense.
Kalaris, in rough translation, it means a place where martial training is imparted. Payat means actual, not warfare or offense and defense. Kalaripayat, it is considered as one of the oldest forms of defense, self-defense. And it has been perfected in different ways, but exactly when it was, I do not know. But even if we take the old stories of our land, this Kalaripayat are there. So it is very old. Kalaripayat was almost essential, especially in olden days, when a lot of protection was needed from different types of inimical approaches. So men were trained in the art of self-defense, which is Kalaripayat. The Kalaris were common in the big houses of the aristocrats, whether they are the Kshatriya community or the Nair community, which made the bulk of the fighting force was made up of Naïrs.
The Naïrs were very privileged. They were both a military and a noble caste. They didn't live or mingle with the commoners. When they went out on horseback, they yelled at peasants to get out of their way, and if one refused, a Nair might simply kill him with impunity. More than 1,000 Naïrs lived in the Padmanabhapuram palace. The Maharaja who ruled here chose his warriors by making them lift a 38-kilogram rock 101 times in a row without putting it down, while he watched from his bedroom window. The Naïrs devoted their lives to defending their chief. They carried their weapons everywhere, 24 hours a day. The use of weapons is unusual in a martial art, but it's at the very heart of Kalaripayat. The students train with old or even ancient weapons, which are repaired when they break. In the Middle Ages, warriors used more than 10 different kinds of weapons. Now students learn to use 4 or 5. Some are made of bamboo or wood, and others of metal, such as the dagger, spear, and sword. In medieval times, the sword was considered the most noble of weapons. It was forbidden for a warrior to take his sword out of its sheath unless he planned to bloody it. Yet the most difficult and dangerous combat takes place without weapons. In a bare-handed fight, the two opponents must strike each other. The gurukkal's son picks up a spear and prepares to take on another student armed with a sword and shield. Both weapons are extremely sharp and dangerous. The two fighters must handle them perfectly or face injury. Before the battle, each man focuses his concentration and controls his fear so that he won't fall under the influence of his adversary. In most martial arts, the warrior releases his energy with a shout. In Kalaripayat, the fighter is indeed shouting, but within the depths of his body, his cry is silent, yet powerful. It is said that a perfect silent cry can immobilize or turn away an assailant. A Kalaripayat master learns to control his breath and invisible energy. He can slow down or even stop his heart at will. Training takes place in stages. Yodish won't touch a weapon until he has mastered a full range of techniques with his bare hands. Then he'll graduate to wooden arms and finally to steel, ending with the sword. He learns how to control these weapons so completely, they're like a part of his body. A dagger called a katarum forces two competitors to fight close together. The slightest wrong move and one can get seriously hurt. A fighter always looks his opponent in the eye, anticipating his next move. His body is tuned to every gesture, feeling danger and responding immediately. Like his ancestors hundreds of years ago, Yodish has to undergo rigorous massage sessions. These help a warrior's body to be flexible and resistant. Massages are based on the science of circulating energy throughout the body. Oils maintain the skin's elasticity. The gurukkal works on the muscles, organs, vertebrae, and vital points, so that the student can twist and turn as though his bones were made of rubber. When Yodish turns 14, his massages will be even more intense. His master will stand on him, pressing his joints down with his feet. Throughout time, Kalaripayat has been linked to massage therapy and medicine. Between his morning and evening training sessions, gurukkal Govindankuti Naïrs works as a doctor for the entire village. Gurukkals make very little money teaching Kalaripayat and often earn their living as healers. They practice a form of traditional Indian medicine called Ayurveda. Ancient remedies written on palm leaves come from sacred Hindu scriptures called the Vedas. These methods are believed to be 5,000 to 10,000 years old. The gurukkal consults these time-tested recipes to make his herbal shopping list. He encourages Yodish to participate in every facet of Kalaripayat. Students must train daily for at least 15 years before knowing all the movements and weapons of this martial art. But their education includes more than just physical strength and agility. In former days, they even learned how to read and write from their gurukkal. Yodish picks up the herbs from the local equivalent of a pharmacist. The pharmacist gathers them in botanical gardens, or he gets them from tribes living in the forest nearby. Ayurvedic medicine is a holistic approach involving the body and mind. It says the body is made of 5 main elements: air, ether, fire, water, and earth. The underlying philosophy is helping people to heal themselves. Once you understand your body, you will know how to keep it healthy. Doctors assess their patients by taking their pulse and measuring their energy imbalance. Treatments combine diet, massage, yoga, meditation, and ointments made of herbs and spices. Hundreds of natural ingredients are used to cure muscular problems, arthritis, skin disorders, a whole range of diseases. The gurukkal's son works with him. He will be the next Kalaripayat master and doctor here.
Every village will have a kalari, and this village kalari master is the local physician or emergency medicine. Suppose one has a fall and a fracture, he will go to a kalari master. Suppose he has a stomach pain, he will go to a traditional vaidya who will prescribe him medicine. So they used to do actual treatments to the people, and also those injuries which is happening inside the kalari. So they were almost like village physicians also. They had a dual role of a physician and a master.
Behind the kalari, an assistant boils herbs with clarified butter in a large vat. A nearby factory makes large quantities of similar medicines from herbs, leaves, roots, and bark for massage clinics and hospitals throughout India. The director is a well-known doctor of Ayurvedic medicine named Sri Dhanvantari Matam.
In this institution, we are using more than 380 different plant materials and very few minerals, iron, calcium, and things like that. This is a plant which is used in viral hepatitis. Hepatitis B was the great killer till this plant was recognized by the modern scientists. Philandus aureus is the name of this plant, and it is very effective in hepatitis B. Now world over people have started using it, looking at the Ayurvedic people who save the cases. Then this is a gum resin, gum gugulu, comifera mukul. This has also become very popular world over because the oleoresin factor of this medicine reduces the serum cholesterol and reverses the process of atheroma or arteriosclerosis, thickening of blood vessels.
The oils are conserved in Chinese pots, brought to India 400 years ago. Today, the factory receives many foreign visitors and buyers, as holistic medicine is experiencing a boom in popularity overseas.
This is an oil for massage. The condition called periarthritis, where the patient cannot lift the hand, a frozen shoulder. People usually massage this oil and exercise, and usually within 1 month's time, the arm can be moved completely.
After 3,500 years, Ayurvedic medicine is once again creating a stir.
Actually, there is a reversal of this modern thinking. Many people are going back to the nature, what is their traditional values, like art form. But Kalaripayat, though modern life is putting more pressure on people to find time for such things, because it is a lot of effort is there, a lot of time you have to find, you have to have a lot of discipline. Though it is a little difficult, nowadays the trend is that the people wants to learn their own basic tradition, what is contained in that. They prefer Ayurveda than to modern medicine. Like that, this reversal is happening. So it's a good time, I think, to promote this tradition more.
The local cinema offers proof that traditional arts are making a comeback in India. With the growing popularity of Kalaripayat, Yodish and his friends have their own homegrown versions of Bruce Lee movies on the big screen and advertised on the billboards in town. Yodish's cousin, Kanan, practices another age-old art, which has its roots in Kalaripayat. Kanan is a Kathakali dancer. "300 years ago, Nair warriors applied their strength and flexibility to developing a kind of dance drama called Kathakali. It requires the same physical preparation as Kalaripayat, including the painful foot massages. Like Kalaripayat, Kathakali is found only in this region of India. It was extremely popular centuries ago, but fell into decline when the British arrived. Today's dancers practice out of passion. After years of grueling training and devotion to their art, most of them are still dirt poor. Kathakali dancers are all men, and they train for at least 10 years before they can perform. They don't speak on stage. 24 basic hand positions can indicate more than 800 different words. And the gymnastics of their expressions are enough to convey every emotion and even entire stories.
Kathakali and Kalaripayat have very close relationship. For instance, the body, suppleness of the body, for that they do the oil massage and do a lot of things which are done for Kalaripayat also. And as you have yourself mentioned, the postures, the similarity of postures in Kathakali and Kalaripayat, there are a lot of similarities. Kathakali was also one of the very ancient art forms of Kérala, and Kathakali literally means, Katha means story, and Kali means a drama. So story which is represented through a drama, which involves a coordination of a number of aspects. Actually the costumes are highly stylized. Then you have to have expression of the face, even expression of the eyes alone. There was one Kathakali artist, I forget the name, who could with the two eyes. One eye, if you look at that one eye, you would think that he's smiling. If you look at the expression on the other eye, he's angry. That sort of expertise is very difficult. And everything in Kathakali, all the costumes, the makeup, everything, they do using local material. There is nothing, no imported cosmetics. It's all local, which you can get from very, very easily. Inexpensive local material is used for Kathakali.
The actor's makeup is so thick it's like a mask, but it allows them to move their features into a variety of expressions, and it doesn't run when they perspire. A makeup session takes at least 3 hours. Each color indicates a certain personality trait. A green face denotes a hero, yellow shows spirituality, and demons are black. Traditionally, only men have danced Kathakali. They play all the parts, even those of women.
In Kathakali, each actor has to study all the characters. Each time, one person, mostly the master of the institution or the manager of that team, he will decide who should do each character. Then everyone has to study all the characters.
Capsicum seeds tucked under the eyelids make them bloodshot and give them a wild, superhuman look of passion or fury. Many of the costumes are hundreds of years old, and they're extremely heavy. Actors have to be in excellent condition just to wear these skirts on stage, especially since most Kathakali performances run from 8 to 12 hours, all night long.
You know, there is mirror inside it. This is for us to look and check our face when we are on stage. This is almost like the vanity bag of ladies who are looking, then that is what is.
The actors portray ancient stories from the Indian epic tales, Mahabharata or Ramayana. Another Indian legend tells how the state of Kerala was formed. The Hindu god Vishnu came down from heaven as Lord Parasurama. He threw his battle axe into the sea. Where the axe fell, the sea receded, and the rich land of Kerala rose from the waters. Parasurama was the first gurukkal. He chose 21 disciples and taught them Kalaripayat so that they could protect the new land. The Kerala is a land of beaches, rice paddies, and canals. It's isolated from the rest of India by mountains. But its Malabar coast has been an international trading port for 3,000 years. Ancient Phoenicians, Chinese, Arabs, and Europeans came by sea for spices, wood, ivory, and peacocks. The native culture was made even richer by the influence of foreigners. Kerala's economy is mostly agricultural. It's known as the land of coconut trees and elephants. The elephant is sacred. It provides an important source of labor. Nothing should be started without a prayer to the Hindu god Ganesh, who has a man's body and an elephant's head. He is the god who removes obstacles. Ganesh is also the deity of writing, and this region is one of the most literate in all of India. The monsoon season brings heavy rains from April to November. The fertile land allows a rice harvest 2 or 3 times a year. An immense jungle once covered the state of Kerala. Kalaripayat warriors studied wild animals' movements and made them their own. There are 2 major styles of Kalaripayat, the northern and the southern schools. Gurukkal Balanchandran represents the southern school, which uses powerful movements of the arms and torso. It relies heavily on weapons, which were used to fight the Dutch invaders in the 17th century. This school has also developed a stronger personality cult around its Gurukkal.
Come into the forest because it offers excellent physical training. You must cross rivers, step over tree trunks. It's a good complement to training in the Kalari. It's even a little risky. You can get hurt. We acquire more mind power. In front of a waterfall, the sound and rhythm of the water is always constant. That helps a lot in meditation. The story of the Kalaripayat comes from the forest. A king observed fights between animals and adapted them to fights between men.
Gurukkal Balanchandran has a profoundly philosophical approach to the martial art.
Spirituality plays a very important role in Kalaripayat. We use spirituality to train the mind. You see, it's not only training of the body, it is training of the body, training of the mind, and synchronizing body and mind to one. You see, we all live like in harmony, we live like brothers. Because Kalaripayat itself becomes a sort of religion. It teaches brotherhood. No, we are not making fighters. We are making human beings, very good human beings.
The Gurukkal's prized student is his son.
Discipline in Kalaripayat is very important because once the person is not physically and mentally disciplined, this dangerous art will become harmful to the society. We don't force discipline, we educate discipline, and which is very important in Kalaripayat. I am not hard to my children, I am like a father, I am a friend, I am a counselor, I am a guide, I am a teacher. So they love me, and the respect they give me comes out of love, not out of fear. I don't think they are scared of me, they love me very much.
Students learn 800 marman, vulnerable points on the body. A blow to one of them can cause severe injury or death. Supposedly, a Nair warrior could hit a marman with simply a look. But these same body points are also used to cure.
I got a student who is mother of 2 kids. She still practices, and she came to me very young when she was in the school days. Still she practices. It is very difficult to find girls join the schools like this. When they come for a particular age, then they won't continue. Women are not weak in any way. If you give the same training to a woman, she will become strong and she'll be able to do everything what man does.
This is a knife?
Yes.
This is a knife in the fight?
Normally, when people fight with a knife and all, there can be light injuries. This makes them to be more careful, not very fatal. If they make mistake, they get it. It happens. People make mistake. Either the student, they make mistake and that makes them to be more careful. This is a leaf with iodine.
The gurukkal grows rare medicinal herbs on the terrace of his 3-story house. He uses his homegrown herbs to heal any wounds in the Kalari, right on the spot.
Every weapon in its own respect is very important for training, because our training is culminated into particular discipline. We start bare hand first, physical exercises for body flexibility and strength and speed. Then we come to the blunted weapons, which is not sharp. Then we start with long stick. Then we come to the knife. Then, step by step sword. Then comes the sword and shield, which is the traditional weapon of Kalaripayat.
The fundamental principle of Kalaripayat is that your adversary should never reach you. A fighter in constant movement is hard to touch.
It's a sharp weapon, and if you are properly taught the basic lessons, it makes things very easy. By seeing this demonstration or film, one should not think that Kalaripayat is a dangerous art. The basic techniques, I keep away from him, I come to a stand, push him out. He attacks me again. I again go out of him, comes behind him and push him. He again comes to me. I push him. See, he comes straight to me. See, these are the basic things. This is normally taught very fast at a, senior stage. Do this. When you master the art, it is so simple. Just watch. See this. I'm on his pressure point. Art is beautiful, traditional, and simple. We do it with spiritual feeling. We hope, we believe it is divine art. It's God's own country and God's own martial art. Thank you.
Before a combat, the two fighters nod to each other in respect.
This is the spring sword, double-edged, tin-bladed spring sword, which is supposed to be the most dangerous weapon of Kalaripayat, and the warriors used to wear it as a belt, and used to be drawn at the end. If properly used, it can cut hundreds of heads. If not properly used, it will cut your own head. It's known as the masterly weapon, and practice trained at the end and handed over to the son or to the best disciple to take over the culture, the art. Here I give it to my son, Girish, to perform the spring sword. I just ask them to pick up any weapon and to attack me. It's not done on special occasions. This actually is a combination of power, speed and concentration. Actually, we don't have to use this much of force, energy or anything to beat a person. When a person becomes master, we have masterly technique which I will demonstrate now. We don't have to use force. But this is, even at my age, people can be strong if you keep training and if you keep yourself fit, physically and mentally.
Martial arts throughout Asia can trace their roots back to Kalaripayat and to a 6th century prince named Damo, who traveled the Silk Route from India to the Shaolin monastery in China, teaching Kalaripayat to those he met.
You know, these books, what you see now, these are documents written by nail on palm leaves. This book itself, it's in Sanskrit itself, is more than 600 years old. It's about Kalaripayat, about the system of medicine we follow. We cannot change the mode of training, we cannot change the mode of treatment as per my wish, because it is a tradition, it is a culture. And we preserve it as holy books. And it comes in tradition, means as an inheritance. I got it from my family and naturally it will go to my son. Kalaripayat is the mother art of all existing martial arts, and it's the oldest martial art. And we just take the route from through Himalaya to China by Bodhidharma, who is called as Damo. He was a very good expert, an expert of Kalaripayat. He took it to Shaolin. In Shaolin there is a separate place for him. Once a French professor of yoga, he was coming from Shaolin to this place. He said, same spirit, what I am seeing here and there is the temple same. So now they believe that Bodhidharma was the person who took martial art, the basic martial art from India, South India to China. When you watch Kalaripayat, you will find similarity in Aikido, Judo, Kubido, Kempo, or any modern martial art.
By practicing Kalaripayat, Yodish and his friends revived the legacy of their ancestors. After thousands of years of existence, this unique discipline combining strength, spirituality, and medicine still remains practically unknown. Today, India's young people are rediscovering Kalaripayat and giving new life to one of the world's oldest martial arts.